There I am. Hopefully, you can all hear me loud and clear. I see John here. I appreciate the happy birthday. Here in Tallinn, Estonia, this apartment that I'm in is really nice. I'm really enjoying this apartment. Nice, comfortable bed, nice spacious. It's a nice way to spend the day. I went out today on the old town Tallinn, which is absolutely beautiful. Had a great time doing that. And let's see. It's actually the funny thing is it's 4:08 back at home in Central Time right now. It's actually not my birthday anymore because it's midnight. Well, it's 4 o'clock Central Time. It's midnight right now. So technically, it's the next day. It's midnight right now in Estonia. So got to go out into town, have a good time, come back in. This is like my traditional thing. I always like to have a birthday stream. Hopefully, we'll get some more people in. I'm not going to go too long on the stream because I know the Sunday night, not Sunday night, the Saturday stroll live. Sherry's going to be doing that, so I got to at least make sure I. Now, if I'm still awake in an hour, I'll be there for that, and then the Saturday stroll. Let's see. Scott's here. What's up, Scott? Scott wishing me a happy birthday. I appreciate that, Scott. Mr. Roll Tide, and you got Mr. Georgia Bulldog here, Danny. Appreciate that, Danny. Positive vibes. We had a lot of fun in New Orleans with positive vibes. Had a lot of fun in New Orleans with Scott also. Two separate times, of course. Both times with the traveling Gilberts in New Orleans. Both great times. Any big plans for the day? The day is, like I said, it's actually midnight here. So I don't know. I'm probably not going back out at this point. I was kind of tempted because I was in Old Town, and they just getting the party started over there. Like I literally like an hour ago got back. It was just getting started. So they're gonna be up partying in Old Town Tallinn to probably like 5 in the morning. So I'm tempted, but at the same time I'm like I don't know. I'm tempted too because it'd be kind of cool to go back out there for the vlog too and hang out and get some of the partying in the vlog. So I may go back out, maybe. We'll see how that goes. One thing I really like too is the fact that because so far on this trip's been really expensive. Like Oslo, Stockholm, these are really expensive places. We're trying to take the public transportation because it's cheaper. But I got Uber for €4, which is like maybe like $4.50. So I've been catching Uber since I got here to Tallinn. Tallinn's cheaper than Oslo and Stockholm. Oslo and Stockholm's ridiculous expensive. Antoinette, I appreciate that. Antoinette wishing me a happy birthday. But yeah, I may go back out into town. Said $5 for an Uber, $5 back. That's not bad. Probably go out, stay out a little bit longer. I'm not staying out to 5 in the morning. The funny thing is, I've actually been getting more sleep on this trip than I was getting before it because I was working 70 hours a week between 3 jobs, and I wasn't getting a whole lot of sleep at home. So I'm actually getting more sleep out here. I had one day I actually slept in like 10 hours, which is crazy. A better question is, how did you celebrate my birthday? Um, It wasn't like last year. Last year I had my birthday and I had this boat party I did the video for in Prague, and that was a lot of fun. This year I went in with nothing planned. Now I did do a boat thing again because we did a cruise. It was like it was called the Baltic Queen. You can look it up. It's kind of like a ferry slash cruise. And they had the live music and the DJs and all that kind of stuff. So I did that last night and went from Stockholm to Tallinn. So this morning I was still on the ship. So we got off the ship about 11 o'clock, and I got an early check in for this apartment at 12. So I walked from the cruise port to the apartment, probably like 15-minute walk. And by the time I got here after all of that, it was time for me to get checked in, and I took a good long nap, and then I went back out and stayed on the old town for a long time. The old town's amazing. It's beautiful. I got so many pictures to post of the old town. I mean, they take their medieval heritage very serious here. Like when you see medieval, like the castles with the pointy spires and all of that, like it's a big thing here. There goes the captain. Thank you so much, Captain. Captain put together an early awesome message earlier with Shaq in it for my birthday on my Facebook and in the group page for the cruise that we're going on in October. So I got to thank the captain for that. Captain did a great job of putting that together. Carol, I appreciate it. Thank you, Carol. Good to have you here. Yep. Let's see. John speaking to the captain. Captain's talking to John and Nancy. And by the way, John, how's Nancy? Nancy's doing better. I know I've seen you on the stream a few times since then. I know she had a little incident. Hopefully, she's back to close to 100%. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun on this trip. Like, and the funny part is, I'm still in the early portions of this trip. Like, I still have a lot more to do. So far, it was one day in Oslo, and I was after New York for a day and a half, which is good too. So one day in Oslo so far, 2 days in Stockholm, first day in Tallinn. I got 2 more days in Tallinn, and then I'm going down to Riga, and then I'm going to Vilnius, Lithuania. And I'm actually excited too because these are all places that I haven't been to before. And the best part is, I spent too much money in Oslo and Stockholm, so I'm going to 3 places in a row that are a lot cheaper. I noticed a difference right from the beginning when I got to Tallinn. When we got to the cruise port, I was like, man, I noticed a difference right off the bat because like there's like a pastry, a water, and an energy drink. And Stockholm was like $10, $11. And as soon as you get to Tallinn, it was like $6 or $5. So it's a big difference. And then Riga and Vilnius, all beautiful places, and they're all a little cheaper. So that'll help with all of that money I spent in Oslo and Stockholm. So John's saying that Nancy's fine. That's a good thing. But yeah, and I see Law in here. Good to see you, Law. Actually, I'm looking on the phone and it's actually ahead of this chat right here because I don't see it in the chat, but I see it on the phone. Appreciate the happy birthday and positive vibes. What Danny's saying, you inspire me to travel more. You got to go for it. Yeah, I love travel, man. It's one of those things, Danny, when you're out there and you just look in the right. It's inspiring because like we work all the time. You're in your everyday life, and this is what you do every day, and it's like you're in this box. So whenever you travel and you get out there and you see other things, it puts you in a different mindset because like it just shows you how big this world is. There's so much around to do and see. And the thing I love about it is the more you travel, you find deals and you go places and you do this. It feels like nowhere is like too big. Like at one time, I would have been like, man, I could never go to Paris. I could never go to London or any of this. Like I would have said that. I've been to London 4 times, Paris 3 times. Now it feels like I can go anywhere. I haven't been to Australia yet, but I know I'm going there. I haven't been to Singapore, which is high on my list, but I know I'm going there. So you feel like anywhere. I feel like anywhere in the globe you can go to once you travel, and you really see how small this world is, and you get to interact and see how other people live. It's an awesome thing. I love travel. I think I saw Megan in here. Hey, Megan, welcome in. Oh, happy birthday. Thank you for that, Megan. The funny thing is, it's after 12 now, so it's technically past my birthday, but in the US, it's my birthday, kind of like when I was on the ship last night. So I was on the ship. Those of you who didn't catch that part in the beginning, I did the Baltic cruise from Stockholm to Tallinn, and they were partying all night on the ship. It was a lot of fun. It was like being a 15-hour ship. They had the live music and the party, and it was funny because it was my birthday then, because it's like 8 hours ahead, way before. And now it's not my birthday again, much later. So it's funny how the time difference is. It's 4:15, but it's 12:15 here. Shanna, thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate everyone here. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Captain is saying he wants to go to Denmark. Denmark is the one place that I'm not going to so far from the Scandinavia, since I went to Norway, Sweden, and you call these Baltic states Scandinavia. A lot of people call Iceland Scandinavia too, which I've also been to. I got to get to Denmark, Copenhagen. It's probably sometime coming in the future. But really and truly, this trip, like initially, I wanted to do Dublin. I wanted to fly into Dublin, but the reason I ended up picking Oslo to go into is because I found a $120 flight on Norse Airlines from New York to Oslo. And when you find a deal like that, you can't turn it down. So I basically got to Europe for $120 because I used points to fly from my home airport to New York. So I didn't pay anything to go to New York. And then I paid $120 to go from New York to Oslo. So basically, I paid 120 bucks to go to Europe, and I think my flight back's like maybe like 350 or something. So it's not too bad. It's less than 500 total in flights to go and come back. 120 to go and basically like 350 to come back. Hey Ryan, welcome in. Saw Ryan earlier. Actually, we had a little group chat earlier for Walter's World group that Mark from Escaping the Empty Nest put together. It was like six of us. Ryan was one of us, and it was a video chat. And I was in Old Town, so I just had my camera and I kind of panned around. I was there about 10, 15 minutes, so I got to let Ryan and some other people see the Old Town. I'm excited to see Ryan again on the cruise in October. He will be on the Carnival celebration with us. I got to meet Ryan in Helen, Georgia last year. Had a great time. Also got to meet the captain in Helen, Georgia last year. Hey, Keisha, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming in, Keisha. But yeah, we had an amazing time last year in Helen, Georgia. Hopefully, we'll see more of y'all coming back into Helen, Georgia next year. I ended up missing this year because I had some issues that I needed to take care of, and that kept me from being able to go to Helen. And Keisha, as far as my birthday, it's midnight now, so it just ended a little bit ago. So on my birthday, I was coming in from a cruise. We went from Stockholm to Tallinn. It was a Baltic cruise. So all through the night, they had the big parties on the ship and everything. It was a lot of fun. It was cool. And 11 o'clock in the morning, which is 3 o'clock in the morning in the U.S., 3 or 4, depending on what part of the U.S. We disembarked from the ship, came to my apartment, took a good little nap, maybe 3, 4 hours, and then got up. And then I went out on the Old Town, took Uber to the Old Town, which is amazing. The Old Town is so beautiful. Had a really good time out there. Ate some really good mini pancakes, caramel pancakes, really good. You'll see that in the vlog too. Pancakes are excellent, and some ice cream. Had a beer. Um, I may go back out because right now it's 12:12. Depends on how I feel after the stream. Because that it's not too far away, the bars and everything, and they'll be open all night. Since it's my birthday, I'm considering it. But to be honest with you, I probably won't. But I'm considering it also because it'd be pretty cool to vlog it too. So it would be nice to do it for the vlog. Ryan says he was actually in Tallinn back in 2019. Yeah, Tallinn's beautiful, man. And I really like how they embrace the medieval culture. Like you come here and you see the guys dressed as knights, and you know the whole medieval thing. Like they really embrace it here, and you got the towers and everything. Like you're not gonna find a more medieval city around. I love that about Tallinn. It's very unique. Bonus birthday year you celebrating? Yeah, I know, right? Less than 24 hours. Yeah, I don't know if I want an extra birthday as far as years. I kind of wish I was born on like February 29th, where I can like, I'm only like 11 years old or 10. I'm only 10 years old because I only celebrate my birthday every 4 years type thing on February 29th. Yeah, I don't know if I want any extra, but yeah, it's always great. In the last few years, getting to celebrate my birthday every year traveling has been the best because I love travel. And right now, I'm like every year for my birthday, I want to be somewhere else, like somewhere traveling, having a good time. Last year was Prague. The year before, it was New York City. The year before, it was like a short one because it was COVID year. I drove to Galveston, which was still a good 5 hours, but I still got away during the pandemic. I don't want to use that C word, pandemic times, and And so the last 5, 6 years at least, I've been able to get out on my birthday and enjoy life. Yeah, it has been amazing. Man, yeah, it boring can be in my vocabulary when I go through those stretches when I'm working like 70 hours a week. But even when I'm working 70 hours a week, I try to still make time to go do something fun so I can go vlog it because you're working 70 hours a week, it gets real tiring. It's like, man, I want to do something fun. And that's mainly when I lately it's been hard because I'm working a lot of hours and still making time to do vlogs and everything. But you got want the channel to grow and do things, and you want to have a good time at the same time. So I try to find a way to find something fun to do, and got my bowling every week too that I do. Which, if you know me, I'm really competitive. So with the bowling thing, it's sort of a love-hate relationship. When I'm bowling really good, I love it. When I'm not, I don't love it so much because I'm pretty competitive when it comes to it. I've been bowling like 7, 8 years now, so yeah, I'm competitive. But so, how's everyone doing in the chat? Anyone else out there that's got any upcoming travel plans you want to talk about? Because that would be great. I mean, I know my next trip to focus on is going to be the cruise in October on a non-group cruise. A few people in here are going to be on that cruise. I mentioned Ryan, Captain Billy, Jay. There's a lot of people on that cruise too. So I'm really, really looking forward to that cruise because it's going to be so many people. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Danny and Tanya, Danny, y'all are on that cruise, right? You and Tanya are on that cruise, right? I think y'all are on a non-group cruise. But yeah, it's man, Scott, you should look into it. I recommend everyone looks in that cruise. It's getting really, really big though now. Like it's crazy. It started off like Betsy told me when we're in New Orleans. I think she told me it was like 60 something people. Now she told me it's like well over 100 and something. So it's gonna be a whole lot of people on that cruise. Whole lot of good people though. I'm excited to see a lot of people for the second, even the third time. And there's going to be some people that I'm going to see for the very first time that I'm excited to meet also. So it'll be a lot of fun. Captain says he's a pretty good bowler when I use bumpers. That I can't bowl bumpers. The thing is with bumpers is like, I don't know, not that I have bowled bumpers in years, but the way that I bowl bumpers would not help me. It would only hurt me because if I'm throwing the ball in the gutter and I'm hitting a bumper, it's yeah, bumpers would hurt me. So I definitely would not want to use bumpers. Yeah, the non is going to be awesome. And we just found out, speaking of awesome, that Sherry Awesome Sunset's going to be on Awesome. She's coming on live in 30 minutes too for the Saturday night stroll. And I'm so excited to meet Sherry because Sherry's always awesome, man. It's always a good time with her. And so her and Scott, I can't wait to meet both of them, her husband Scott, on that cruise. It's going to be a great time. So those are more awesome people to meet on the cruise. Captain Billy, Danny, it's going to be fun to meet him on the cruise as well. Never met him before. The chats, we have a lot of fun in the chats. For the was it the Marco Polo? I didn't really know a lot about Marco Polo until recently, but it's really a cool thing. It's a good way to communicate. I don't know if any of you are other than the captain or in any of the Marco Polo groups. Ryan, you should get in our Marco Polo group. There's a good amount of people in there. Fun way to communicate. They leave so many messages sometimes I have to skip because sometimes it's just too much to go back and check out. 45 minutes for Sherry to come on. And my battery in my headset's getting low. I don't know if I can. I have to turn the volume up on here. It's kind of weird. And y'all, you still hear me fine? Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of used to having the headset in because I'm looking at the chat down here, but it's fine. It's about to die. But yeah, Sherry's coming on in about 45 minutes, so that's something to look forward to. the Saturday stroll. I planned on having a video in the Saturday stroll and as well as a video in the raid parade. But what happened was when I went to upload my video for the raid parade on Friday, well, I uploaded on Thursday, I screwed up. And well, I don't know if I screwed up or the actual software screwed up on the phone for YouTube. Whatever happened, the video came out early. So the video was supposed to come out Friday, came out on Thursday, and it automatically premiered. And I think Daniel Jose and Najuma Brown were like the only two people in the premiere. So it's like two people in the premiere. I went ahead and kept it up instead of re-uploading it for Friday, and then I just did my Friday video. So the Friday video was supposed to be in the raid parade. It's supposed to be in the parade tonight, and the Thursday video is supposed to be in there Friday, if that makes sense. But oh well, I'm trying to get out 2 videos a week. There's tons and tons of stuff to put out here because I've been filming and doing stuff every day, and it's just so much to put together. Like it's one of those things you walk out here, it's so pretty and it's so beautiful, and you're aiming your phone, and it's like you just want to record everything, but then you're telling yourself stop recording everything because the more you record, the harder it's going to be to edit it. So I'm like, I don't want to go too crazy because I do have to edit it. So yeah, so let's see what Megan put here. Yeah, I do need to get to. I do need about 800 watch hours, so I would appreciate if anyone could run my playlist. Now I'm confused with the new situation because I'm hearing now that. So I'm hearing now that 500 subscribers. I'm almost to 1,200. I'm actually 5 away from 1,200 and 3,000 watch hours. I'm right at 3,200 watch hours, but I haven't gotten any type of invite or anything like that that says I can go apply for the YouTube partnership program. So I don't know if it's going to wait for me to get to 4,000 watch hours or if eventually it's just going to go ahead and allow me to apply for the partnership because I'm over 3,000. So I don't know how they're gonna play that. Yeah, it's definitely a catch 22 for real. Like I'm the type of person like I'm walking around with my phone and I want to take pictures and videos of everything, but you can't take pictures and videos of everything because when you go to edit it, it's gonna be a pain in the butt and you gotta cut it down under like 15, 16 minutes for the raid parade or Saturday stroll when you don't want to go on and on and on. But yeah, it's been crazy. Like so far, I went out that first night in Oslo, and it was just so beautiful. That would be like a video on its own because Oslo was amazing that night. And then I went out, well, Stockholm, it'll probably be like 3, 4 videos because I went to the Vasa Museum, which is this giant ship. And the entire museum is built around this ship. I mean, it's huge. They built the building around the ship like the ship was there first. And it's an amazing museum. It's a whole video on its own. And then I have like the Nobel Peace Prize Museum I went to. That was pretty cool too. Really nice building. So there's a lot of things that I've seen on this trip right here, and then tonight in Tallinn has been great too. So hey, Anthony, welcome in. Anthony, good to see you. So yeah, so it's been a lot uh, putting together. So at the end of this trip, I think it's like 25 days once you include the Germany stuff and Paris again for a day. Try to go to Paris and do something different this time. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there at the end of my trip because I'm flying out of Paris. Paris wasn't really a central uh, focus of the trip. I love Paris, but I'm basically going back because my cheapest flight out of Europe was to Paris. So it was cheaper for me to fly into Paris, basically to fly out of Paris to New York because it was the cheapest. It was like 300 something dollars to fly back, as opposed to paying like 700 or 800 or 900 or something like that to fly out of Germany. Like it was really expensive one way flying out of Germany. So I'll just go back to Paris, enjoy Paris a day, and fly out of there. Let's see. Megan was saying something that is supposed to be a fan fundraiser option, super chat. Oh yeah. It's supposed to be that. But yeah, they didn't give me that option either. I guess it's supposed to like pop up and tell you when you're able to be able to do super chats and do the fan what do they call it, the memberships. But I guess it's going to tell me when I have that option where I can do memberships and I can do super chats and all that kind of stuff. But it didn't give me that option yet. So yeah, food in Paris is excellent. I'm gonna tell you something that's underrated here. Okay, so we always hear about the pastries and the croissants and everything in Paris. Dude, Oslo had such good pastries and croissants. You'll see in the video, like the pastries and croissants for in Oslo were amazing. Like they were so good. Kind of caught me off guard that they were so good. So definitely gonna be checking out some more pastries. I need to try out some pastries here too in Tallinn. But yeah, the pastries are really good in Paris. Anthony's saying one of these days I have to get over, fly across. Oh yeah, you definitely got to do that, Anthony, because man, it's and there's deals to be had. There's deals to be had to go over there. I don't know. You got here after the very beginning. I was telling them. I said I booked the flight to Oslo, Norway from New York for $120. So basically, it cost me $120 to get to Europe because I used my American Airlines points to fly to New York. So strictly points, $120 to fly to Norway. So I mean, it's you can get over here reasonably. Hey, Mark, welcome in, Mark, and good to see Mark put out a new video. I think it was this morning. It was the first video he's put out in a while. He took a little break, escaping the empty nest. Took a little break from YouTube. Mark has excellent content, so it was good to see Mark back. Though it is good to take a little break from time to time. Eventually, I'll probably have to take a break too because it gets tiresome, especially when you're uploading frequently. I've been doing 2 a week for the last several weeks. I took off last week. That was the first week I took off, and really I did 3 this week instead because I put that New York one up on Tuesday. So I did 3 uploads this week, so they kind of made up for taking that week off. Does it based on whether you are physically located in, like maybe out of the country when it's live? I'm not getting that question. It's now based on physically located, like maybe you were out of the country when it went live. Yeah, well, I mean, I was, of course, out of the country when it went live, but I mean, I was out of the country the last time. I don't really understand what happened. I guess it's like you told me before, like when you set the premieres, sometimes when it's time for it'll get confused like that, and it'll just automatically come on immediately and just premiere then instead of waiting because I guess it gets a little confused or something. I don't know. Captain is saying I haven't been offered super chats and memberships yet. I think they are still rolling it out. Yeah, they probably are. The funny thing about the super chats and the membership is I think like you don't with YouTube from what I understand is you don't get paid for your first payment from YouTube until you earn X amount of dollars. So it might take like 2, 3 months before you see those memberships and super chats anyway. I know Mark escaping the empty nest is like at 1,300 or something like that. Do you have your watch hours? Are you monetized yet? 'Cause I know you're like 1,300. You're a little bit ahead of me. Mark was saying something right here. Yeah, Mark's awesome, man. I've known Mark a while on here. Got to know Mark through Walter's World, like I've got to know a lot of people through Walter's World during the pandemic. That was the chat, man. During the pandemic, there was not a lot going on. Walter's World was on like twice a week. Mark and Jocelyn, and got to know a lot of people through that. Mark and Jocelyn are awesome people, and Ryan Donahue's another one of the ones that I got to know initially through Walter's World. A lot of people got to know through them. Means to Travel, Derek and Eliz, they came through there. Got to meet them twice now. Got videos with them. There's a lot of people. So yeah, that was the best thing probably one of the only good things that came from the pandemic, like those live streams and getting to make friends and know all of these people. Oh, okay. Mark's gotten a couple payments already, a total of about $150. Captain's got 3,300 hours. Captain actually has about 100 more hours than me because my hours have been like, I would say my hours have been kind of fluctuating between 3180, 3190, 3210, somewhere in that range. It's just been fluctuating every day because it's like, because I've been doing this over a year, you gain hours, you lose hours, you gain hours, you lose hours. So it's one of those things where it's not, I wish, and it would be so much easier for me if I wasn't on here for a year yet. Because if I wasn't on here for a year yet, then that would mean every day I would just gain hours. But instead, I'm losing them as I gain them. So, but yeah, got a lot of fun stuff planned on this trip. So the next 2 days, I'm trying to figure out, other than going in the old town because the old town is so awesome. I'm trying to figure out some other things to do around here in Tallinn aside from just the old town. I know there's some towns that aren't too far away as well. So, and then Riga and Vilnius will be a lot of fun as well. Mark's saying 7219. That's a lot of hours. It's actually really good. Yeah, I've been thinking for a while of doing more live streams because I know more live streams help your hours out a lot. And one thing they've been doing on YouTube a lot, like Eddie Lugo and Z Show and Mike from Clock Family Adventures and a lot of people. They've been getting together and JNS Adventures. They've been getting together and they've been doing live streams together where they share it out to each other's audience and everyone gets the watch hours from it. I haven't done anything like that yet. It's been kind of hard for me to really do many live streams because, as I said, I've been working 70 hours a week some of these weeks, and it's like, do I want to do live streams in my car or anything like that too much because I don't really have a lot of time at home to really do live streams. So yeah, I still may go out. Maybe I'll go out tomorrow in Tallinn for a while during the day and I'll live stream the old town. I think that's something that I can do because I mean I'm gonna vlog it anyway, so we'll live stream a little bit and then vlog some. I think that's a good idea. But yeah, I'm excited about the cruise coming up in October too. So I'm thinking about my 2024 plan. So I don't have anything booked for 2024. So Darian has some trips to Germany in 2024. I think there's three. Now I know two of them for sure. One is in June and one's in September. And September is during Oktoberfest. So I really want to go to Oktoberfest in September, so I'm thinking I may be going to Germany in September. I also want to do an Alaska cruise next year. I can't really commit to more than say two cruises because I want to make time to go back to Europe. If I get to where I'm doing 3, 4 cruises, then I won't have time to do Europe. So I'm thinking Alaska cruise next year would be amazing. I don't know any of you have any cruises booked to Alaska next year. Anything planned? I know Sherry Awesome Sunsets, I think, has a group cruise with Sean and Casey on vacay mode. Um, Mike and Betsy also, Beach Please, talked about an Alaska cruise at some point next year. So definitely looking to do an Alaska cruise next year. May do a short cruise out of New Orleans too, because I've never done a cruise out of New Orleans. My sister wants to go on a cruise, and I think she would rather go with someone that's been before because obviously she's never been on a cruise. So maybe a short cruise out of New Orleans too. So I'm still working on my 2024 plans next summer. If I don't cruise next summer, I may go to Canada for a week or something, nothing long. I'm not going to take a long trip next summer if I'm going to do Germany in September. So I've been wanting to get back to Canada, Quebec City. Definitely want to go to Quebec City. go back to Montreal and do Quebec City on the same trip. That would be amazing. What's Megan saying here? Beehive cake. I'm not sure what beehive cake is. I've had some good cake though on this, for good pastries at least. Captain says I have no plans either for 2024, but it will change. Yeah, I got to get mine together. Mark saying I'm shocked that my watch numbers didn't drop during the 4 week break, but my series for the first still getting good numbers. Yeah, I find that those cruise videos they do pretty well. You know what I find that does pretty well too is hotel and room reviews. I feel like people are out there looking for places to stay. So when you put those hotel and room reviews out there, you can just people are googling hotels. Like I'm going to do a room review next week for the Hyatt. Was it the Hyatt Grand Central in New York? I did it on day use hotels. It was like $120 for like 8 hours, but it was like a $300 something hotel, and you can book it for like 8 hours. And I booked it at that time and worked out perfect because I had the flight leaving late that night. So I actually stayed in the hostel the day before, and then used my day use hotels. Paid $120, stayed there 8 hours, and do a hotel review on that. That's pretty cool. I seen Najuma in here. Najuma, welcome in. Najuma, one of the absolute best supporters out there. Probably the absolute best supporter out there. But if she ain't the best, she's at least 1A because there's no better supporter out there than Najuma. There may be supporters out there that's as good as Najuma, but there is no supporter out there that's better than Najuma. Najuma is a fantastic supporter. Mark saying he just got back from Alaska cruise. Everyone loves these Alaska cruises. Plus, for me, I've been to 46 states, and Alaska is one of the four I haven't been to. So that's another excuse, another reason why I need to do the Alaska cruise so I can get Alaska in as one of those four states. Oh, that's something at Oktoberfest casino. Oh, yeah, you're kind of confusing me for a second. I'm like, what are you talking about, Megan? Oh, Helen in March. I forgot about Helen in March. And I just mentioned it earlier. Yeah, Helen in March is definitely a planned trip. I guess I didn't really think about Helen too much with my planned trips because it's a short trip. I'll probably do an extra day. Last time I only did like came Friday and then left Sunday. Maybe I'll get there Thursday this time so I can spend a little extra time, or at least stay all day Sunday and fly back Monday. Cool. Last time I got my tickets to fly to Helen and everything, it was like $20. It was Spirit Airlines, like $20 and $20. So I didn't feel too bad when I didn't use my tickets and didn't go. Well, I felt bad because I missed everybody and I wanted to see everyone, but I didn't feel too bad about, having to eat that 20 something bucks. I would have been like, I'd had to make myself go if I would have spent a little more. But yeah, I had to take care of more important things, having eye issues at the time, which I think my eyes are doing better. I still have scarring in them, but yeah, I've made mistakes in the past, often sleeping in my contacts, which you can't do that. So I make sure I take them out every night now. So there's Najuma again. Let's see, Captain speaking in Najuma. Ship tours do great. Yeah. The Baltic Queen, I'm going to do a type of ship tour to it. It's not really like a big ship like a carnival ship or anything like that. It doesn't really even have an atrium. It's kind of weird. Like you come in on the fifth floor, and the only thing that's really below the fifth deck, I said floor deck, that's really below that. There's a sauna on the second deck, and I think there's staterooms below, but there's really nothing below. Most everything's on deck 6, 7, and then once you get up to 9 and 10, there's observation, but it's not really like a big like carnival ship or anything like that. But it was really cool though. I mean, and it was affordable. It was like $165 I paid. You get a room, so it's like you get a place to stay for the night. You do have to pay for all your food and everything. You can pay $20 for the buffet, and you can drink all the beer and eat all the food you want for that $20. So if you're willing to do that, that's not bad too. The drinks are not terribly expensive too, so there's different shows on there, live music, so it's cool. They work well for search engine search traffic. Yeah, I need to get on the search traffic. Megan has been so good about the sending the keywords and the search traffic and everything. I just need to get to where I can post all of this in. But like I said, I've actually had a little more time on this trip, believe it or not, than working the 70 hours a week. I've actually slept more on this trip than I did working 70 hours a week. So I got to get on keywords and all of that. Internet's kind of spotty too, depending on where you are. I'm glad I got good internet. Really nice apartment here. I really like this apartment. I wish I could take this apartment with me, like everywhere I went on this trip. Like, just take this whole apartment. It's so cool. There's a train that goes from New York to Quebec City. Man, I didn't know that. I know, I know all the trains that go all of these other places: Philadelphia, New Jersey, Washington. But I did not know that there was a train that goes from New York to Quebec City. That's an interesting idea. If I find a flight a lot cheaper to New York than going to Quebec or going to Montreal, I might just fly to New York and do that. But being that I want to go to Montreal and Quebec, I don't know. I might see if I can find a good deal flying that way. Seattle hotel video come out. Actually, I think I stayed at that hotel the first time I went to Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. I'll find out when the video comes out, Mark, but I think I stayed at that hotel. It was the Hyatt, and then like the Space Needle's like almost directly across. Like when you look out your window, you can see the Space Needle. I think that's the hotel I stayed at the first time I went to Seattle. So, man, I would definitely want to do an Alaska cruise out of Seattle. I miss Seattle. I haven't been there in like 4 or 5 years. Seattle, I love Seattle. I rated Seattle as my favorite city in the U.S. because it's just such a beautiful place, and there's so much to do there as well too. I really love Seattle. So yeah, that's another reason I'm excited to go on an Alaska cruise just to get back into Seattle. Almost moved to Seattle, but one of the main holdups for me that's got me like I don't know if I'd move to Seattle is that it's so expensive, and it's so expensive. Like even the areas outside of Seattle is really expensive. Like it's crazy expensive. Plus, another drawback is if you like to go to Europe, flying from the West Coast, you got to fly a long flight to get to New York or get to the East Coast, and then take another long flight to Europe. I mean, I guess it would be a plus if you were going to Asia, which I definitely want to go to Singapore. Singapore is high on my list. I mean, I want to go everywhere: Tokyo, Japan, all of those places. But Singapore is my number one numero uno when it comes to Asia. Singapore's like top of my bucket list right now. It's probably number two only to Australia. So yeah, it might be better to go to Singapore going from Seattle, but going to Europe, it's much better to fly from the East Coast. You get better deals and shorter flights. The question is 3 a.m. premiere at the beginning of the or end of your day. The I don't know. The 3 a.m. was like at a weird time. Like yeah, it went straight into the premiere. Like I don't know. That's why I think it's probably got confused and just decided to premiere immediately because it basically happened at the time when I was actually setting it up. And then like I turned away, I stopped looking, and all of a sudden I saw it was premiering. And I was like, what in the world's going on? Like, why is it premiering? But then I jumped into the premiere, and there was a couple people there. Najuma was there, and Daniel Jose was there. But yeah, good thing I had enough stuff on backup that is not a big deal. No review, just room tour. Yeah. Oh, so you're gonna put some stuff out on YouTube, Scott? That would be awesome. Yeah, the room tours, like people tend to love the room tours. They like to see what the rooms are gonna look like. The hard part about doing the room tours is the fact that there's so many different types of rooms depending on the hotel that you're booking. Because like, okay, so if I'm booking a basic room and someone else is booking a suite, even though it's the same hotel, it's still going to be totally different. That's why I started to like with the videos, like actually show other parts of the hotel so you can say, hey, this is what the hotel looks like as well as the room. So you're not just seeing a room that may look like yours or may not look like yours. You're going to still see other stuff that's that's relevant to where you're going to be staying at. Yeah, that is low airfare. Talking about that 20 something dollars, yeah, to Atlanta. But yeah, I don't mind. I scour for cheap deals. I'm actually the type of person where I'm at work and I'm working with one hand, and the other hand I got my phone like this, and I'm on Google Flights, and I'm always looking for cheap flights. I see a couple new people in here. Bama Nola, Lawn Adventures, welcome in. Bama Nola from New Orleans. I know that place very well since I live an hour and 15 minutes away. Know New Orleans very well. Welcome in. And Kim, welcome in. Kim's another one of my friends that got to know off of Walter's World. We are talking about Walter's World earlier. Kim's awesome. Kim's up in the Vancouver, British Columbia area. And that's a beautiful area up there. I still haven't been to Victoria, but I have been to Vancouver. I want to go back. I know some of these Alaska cruises, they go to Victoria, which would be awesome. Be a good chance to go up that way. And let's see. He said he was doing an apartment tour, right? Well, as far as this apartment is, I'm not gonna do say a apartment tour. Well, I am doing an apartment tour, but it's gonna be in my video. It's not gonna be a separate apartment tour video. I did a separate video for the Hyatt Central, well, Hyatt Grand Central in New York. That's gonna be a whole video for the hotel itself. But this apartment right here is just gonna be included in my birthday vlog video for Tallinn. So you'll be able to see the apartment in that video, but I'm not gonna do a separate video for it. The train goes to Montreal. You could go to Quebec City. Yeah, that's awesome. Montreal is a very interesting place. Those of you who have or haven't been to Montreal, it's a very interesting place. Some people would say it's a little seedy at night because like it gets wild. There's like homeless people sometimes that walk the streets that'll actually like yell at you that seem like they're on drugs and things like that. But it's a really beautiful place. There's Mount Royal, which is a really cool place to go to. um, Beautiful views. Go up to the top, get great views of the city, beautiful botanical gardens. I really enjoyed Montreal. Really fun, vibrant city. Um, Maybe my favorite place in Canada I've been to. Vancouver was beautiful. Toronto, I didn't see enough of. I liked it a lot, but I didn't see enough of it to really rate it to say it was better than Montreal or Vancouver. I need to see more of it. I went to Toronto on a big long road trip. I was there like a day and a half, and I got to see the Hockey Hall of Fame, which was a lot of fun. I got to see the market, St. Lawrence Market. It was nice. I got to go to the RUM, the Royal Ontario Museum, which was also a lot of fun, but I need to spend a little more time in Toronto. Ryan saying, "Are you sure Quebec City?" Yeah, that's what he was saying earlier in Montreal and Quebec. Yeah, it was a Hyatt house practically at the base of the space. I think that's the hotel I stayed in. Um, I'm pretty sure it was the hotel that I stayed in Seattle was the Hyatt house. And it was in a great location. You got Ori. Hey, Ori, I appreciate you coming in. Happy birthday. Got to meet Ori and Corn in Helen, Georgia last year. Didn't get to see him in Helen this past year, but we'll definitely get to see him in Helen this year if they come back. Hopefully, get to see him in Germany and have a good time because Germany is amazing. They know it. I know it. We all know Germany is a really good time. Let's see what Bam on Nola is saying. He's speaking to Megan. And I got 10 more minutes in his chat, so I got to catch up here. Let's see. Hopefully not a driving job. Hopefully what's not a driving job. I'm not sure. I guess I missed something there, Megan. Yeah, I've had a few driving jobs, still have one, and it's like me getting sleepy on the road, yeah, not a good thing. It happens though. Flying to New York is a lot better than flying to Canada. Yeah, flying to New York just seems to always make sense, man. It's just like it's always cheaper if you're gonna go abroad to fly to New York. At least I feel it's you get the better deals going to New York as opposed to like if I'm trying to fly from New Orleans to Europe, I'm gonna spend so much money and it's just not worth it. And then it's going to be okay. So if you're going to fly, say, British Airways out of New Orleans, it's going to cost more money. And then it's only going to be a 2, 3 days during the week that you are able to go because British Airways only works out of New Orleans like twice during the week. So it's like just go to New York. And I mean, I can fly to New York for barely $100, maybe a little over $100, or if I use points like I did this time, $0, which is even better. Yeah, it's very important that you collect those points though, and you get some good deals, even if you get an undesirable flight sometimes, and they're trying to give it away. I'll still take it because I mean it all works out. Like so, this past flight they had like a 30-minute layover connection in DC. So it's like I got the flight for free. Now the flight ended up getting delayed a little bit, so it worked out perfect. So 30 minutes turned into like an hour and 15 minutes. But even at 30 minutes, it's like I'm using points. So this is through American Airlines. So if somehow I miss my connection, it's American Airlines' fault. So they're gonna give me another flight anyway. So it's like, why not? I mean, unless you're in a hurry. If you're in a hurry to get somewhere, then that's a whole different animal itself. If you're in a hurry, then you need to, book something with a longer connection. One hand on work and one hand on the phone. Well, that's not my driving job. No, I'm no. No, my that's well, I have 3 jobs. So well, two of them really, I work in grocery stores. One of them's an actual grocery store job. The other one is sales, where I kind of go in and out of stores on say doing sales. So with that, you have down moments, you have downtime where you know here and there, and during that downtime, I go grab my phone and go look up Google flights or maybe I'm doing something, or maybe I'm just fronting the shelf up here and I'm like Google flights here, that type of thing. But no, I try not to on my driving job when I'm doing like Uber Eats or anything like that to be on the phone too much. I mean, not too much. I can't say I've never done it, but usually with that I'll pull over and get on the phone. All right, so we got 7 minutes before Sherry Awesome Sunsets comes on to preview the Saturday night stroll. I will be in the chat for a little bit. I may possibly be in the chat and be there for the Saturday stroll. I may possibly be asleep, or I may possibly catch an Uber and go out to the nightclub just so I can vlog it tonight. I really don't necessarily feel like doing the nightclub thing, but I'm considering going there for the vlog. My body really feels like going to sleep, so I'm probably going to go to sleep. It's 12:54 right now here in Tallinn, Estonia. But we'll see how it all works out. But yeah, excited about these trips coming up, man. There's just so much left. Really cool experience here. And like I said, the I'm gonna post a lot more pictures and everything up to social media. So make sure you're checking out my Instagram. I've already posted a lot. I'm gonna post some Thailand pictures on Instagram coming up really soon too. So there'll be a lot more stuff coming up. What Megan's saying here. It's trying to make up for 70-hour work week. And it kind of did the other day, Megan, because I went to sleep for like 10 hours the other day. So it kind of made up for it that day. But like I said, I've been getting more sleep on vacation than I was getting before. And there's a lot of hustle and bustle on this vacation because I'm not the type of person that's really looking for necessarily a beach vacation. I mean, it's cool and all to relax, but I like the hustle and bustle though. The hustle and bustle is a lot of fun. Next year is better than your last. Yeah, I appreciate that, Law. Thank you so much. Hey, it's always great to celebrate a birthday. It's always great to come here and celebrate a birthday with my travel community here. It's been amazing. I don't know if Kim's still in the chat, but if you're still here, do you have any more plans coming up to Europe? She went to Paris last year, had a lot of amazing pictures. So, kind of curious, Kim, if you're planning any trips coming up this year to Europe or anytime soon again, because the Paris trip looked like a lot of fun. Megan's dropping in a link right here. Yeah, for my Instagram. You know, I don't even know if that link works. I hate to say it. I don't know if that link works. I'm gonna try it on my phone and see if it works. It may not take you to my Instagram. Let me see. Yeah, it does. It does. It actually works. So that link takes you to my Instagram because I have like my channels and my bio and my description that I put in my videos, and sometimes the link from my Instagram doesn't work. But I guess she must have like looked up my actual Instagram and then copied and pasted. Megan doing the job as a great moderator, doing the right thing, putting it in there. A OK. But yeah, 4 minutes left. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Like I said, I don't know if Kim's still here. I was gonna ask Kim about if she was going back to Europe, but she had a great time. Though the Paris pictures were amazing. This time when I go to Paris, I'm trying to figure out. So I'm only going to be there a day. What do I want to do differently? I'm not going to do the Louvre again. I may do a video on the Paris metro, like showing you how to get to all of the major spots, like, get on the metro here, get off here. And this is, yeah, I may do that. That's one idea I have. And there's also a lot of great museums in Paris that I haven't been to that I would also love to go check out. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. There's 3 minutes before Sherry comes up. You can drop Sherry's link down. Someone, if you, I'm sure Megan will be on top of it to drop Sherry's link down in the description. Sherry's gonna be on. There it goes for the Saturday Stroll kickoff show, and then you're gonna have the Saturday Stroll. A lot of great creators in the Saturday Stroll. If you're not familiar with the Saturday Stroll or the Rave Parade, it's a series of live premieres from different fantastic creators, one after another one. Great opportunity to go out and support other creators or just be a great supporter yourself and get to see great content. And you know what the best part about it all? It's free entertainment. Support people and you don't have to pay. What can get better than that? My favorite price is free. So, hey, thank everyone for showing up today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Happy to see you all on my birthday. I don't know. I go take a nap here. I'm probably not going to get back up. So I got some decisions to make here. Hey, thanks, Najuma. And I'm definitely enjoying my trip, having a wonderful time. So as always, remember, live today, grow today. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Peace and travel. Lots and lots of travel.